This is a Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic watch. It is 42 millimeters across, has a light green dial, and comes on a stainless steel bracelet. It is an example of a good watch, and good watches are the focus of this video. But in order to continue, I need to show you a negative before I show you a positive. This is a Swatch watch with a Sistem51 mechanical movement. It is an automatic watch. This was gifted to me around 10 years ago. I tried it out and wore it to work. But to be honest, I just wasn't connecting with it, and it didn't take very long before I gave it back. The dial was trying to be interesting, but that was lost on me, because I didn't know anything about mechanical watches at that time. So what I noticed instead were the drawbacks. This had a cluttered and unreadable dial. The hands do not distinguish themselves from the dial, because the hands and dial have the same colors. I have to search the dial for the stick hands just to read it. The dial has dots and lines that make it look like a constellation. Why a constellation? I didn't know. The white dots are also found on the bezel, placed according to the points of a clock. There are also red dots, supposedly mapping the rubies in the movement. Those are for the gears and other pivoting components. But I interpreted this map of rubies as being useless dial clutter, and consequently it made it even harder to read the watch. 10 years later, I'm not so worried about the red dots, but I still think that it's hard to read. Just to be clear, I don't hate this watch, because even a negative experience can be educational, and what I learned from this watch is that I prefer cleaner and easy to read dials. And now we come back to the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic. I think that it should be obvious from this dial that it has a much more general purpose design. It's much easier to read, even though a light green dial and white print has less contrast than, say, a black dial with white print, or a blue dial with white print. But this isn't strictly a military field watch, because it is automatic, it has a domed crystal, and it is slightly more fancy, as if it has a more urban placement. When you have a good watch, you can study its features such as how it arranges numbers, and why is there no radial track under them? How big are the hands in proportion to the dial? And do they reach the outermost part of the dial? Why is the 12 and 6 larger than the other numbers? Why did the date window offset the 3? Is this dial loomed? Why would the seconds hand only be loomed at the tip? And with those considerations, you can start to identify some common design choices and whether you prefer them. Do I really like printed dials? Is there too much detail here? What if we reduced the tick marks and/or the numerals? What if we had stick indices instead of numerics? This is a matte dial? What if it was glossy? What if it had a pattern? Is this crown too big? And would this look better with anti-reflective coating? It is stuff like this that I think makes owning a watch rewarding. First and foremost, it should pique your interest. And after you become interested, it should have enough design depth to continue giving you things to think about. I've had this watch for over 2 years, and I still think that it's good. It's harder to read on a sunny day, due to crystal reflection. I prefer my watches to not come with date windows. And, with the bracelet, the whole watch weighs 162 grams. So perhaps I could have had it in titanium instead of stainless steel. This watch could also take on new character with a good strap.